Hi everyone, this is Mabena here. First of all, I'd like to say a massive thank you to all you wonderful people who have listened to my two singles so far, and for all of you who are, with sharing. Continue to do so, because when we share, we are just not encouraging ourselves, but we are also encouraging the recipient of these songs and reminding them that the God that we serve is a help in time of trouble. So let's keep doing that. I have just decided to jump on this channel, and for the next few minutes just to go back to the lyrics. I'll just focus on the first line of the lyrics, and then I'll attempt to just share what I had in mind when I wrote it, and how and why I was inspired, obviously coming from a Christian perspective and also making reference to the Bible if it's necessary. So just join in. So the first sentence is, when I was lost and I didn't know what to do, I didn't know where to go, you showed up. Okay, so I was just, attempting, I must say, to relate to you listeners that there are moments and seasons in our lives when we are completely lost. I mean, not technically lost in the forest, even though the picture could show that, but when we are lost, when we are completely lost and we do not know what to do. And this is all right. As believers, we need to understand that God expects us to acknowledge how we feel, and He expects us to be able to tell Him then when we cannot do it. To tell Him we cannot, when we are lost, be able to acknowledge that. He says, so you showed up. It's very interesting that this is right, He showed up, because we know that the God we serve is a God who's encouraged us throughout the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, that we should ask. In fact, in Jeremiah 33 verse 3, he says, the prophet Jeremiah said on behalf of God, he says, you call on me and I will answer you, and I will show you great and mighty things I do not know. In Luke chapter 18, there was also a story of a blind man. Jesus was passing by, and this blind man heard that Jesus was passing by, and he yelled at Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And the people asked him to just be quiet. And the Bible records in Luke chapter 18. By the way, the book of Luke is in the New Testament, for those of you who are not very familiar. So from chapter 18, from 38, this man yelled and screamed until Jesus heard him, and Jesus asked him to be brought. And Jesus asked him, what would you like me to do? And he said, please have mercy on me and heal me. I want to see again. And Jesus did. So I'm just giving these examples to just stress on the fact that the God that we serve as believers is a God who expects us to ask. He wants us to put in the effort. God will not just show up. So why did I put down God showed up when I was lost and I didn't know what to do? Here what I was looking at God is compassion and mercy. The God we serve, we are told that He's also a compassionate and a merciful God. In fact, a clear example is actually a very popular scripture that most Christians know. The scripture is John 3:16, and it says that, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whoever believes in Him will not perish but will have eternal life. You see, we were very busy and we didn't really ask God to save us, but He chose to save us because He knew that the only way He could get us back was to send His only Son to die for us. So that was what I had in mind. I was just trying to just remind myself and listeners as well that of course we need to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. God helps those who help themselves, obviously. But then there are times when we are not even able to ask. There are times and seasons in our lives where we've experienced so much trauma, or whatever we've experienced, the bad news, the disappointment, we are low, we are completely broken, that we don't even have the energy to ask. In those moments, God shows up because He's a compassionate and merciful God. But having said that, we encourage to ask for help, and he will answer us, as it said clearly in Jeremiah 33 verse 3. So thank you for listening, and keep an eye out for the part 2 of this. I will look at the second and third line of this song. God bless.